Don't forget to check out the new shirts on our website celebrating our 300th episode of All About. Hey everybody, it's Brock and we got a brand new episode of All About. This is a very unique looking fish we have today, and it's sometimes called the seahorse's cousin. Today we're learning all about the pipefish. There are a lot of different pipefish out in the world. You have the dragon-faced pipefish, banded pipes, blue stripes, flagtails, and each come with their own price tag, but most of the time their personality is exactly the same. Average prices being around $40, but some can be as expensive as $100 just to get one. I usually recommend a 50-gallon or larger aquarium to house these pipefish. These fish are very fragile to water levels and require you to keep a close eye on how everything is. A spike in the tank will cause the pipefish to be one of the first to perish. That's why it can be a better idea to go with a larger aquarium rather than putting them in a smaller nano reef, because the chances of a spike happening are going to be much higher when you have less water filtrating. Definitely put the pipefish as an expert care level. You want to be experienced in this hobby before trying your hand at housing a pipefish in the aquarium setting. For one, they are very fragile to water levels, but they're also a very picky eater. They can be as picky as seahorses at times. It's best to have a very healthy supply of live copepods in the tank, because a majority of their diet is going to come from chasing those around during the day. A seasoned reef typically has a good population of them. To be safe, you can always get some bottled live pods to put in the tank to be sure there's plenty of them to eat, because if their copepods are not reproducing fast enough once you get some pipefish in the tank, you want to make sure you're continually adding more into the tank so they'll always be full. Over time, you also can try feeding them frozen foods like mysis to give them something else to snack on. Have a soft sand bed as well as plenty of live rock and macroalgae. Pipefish aren't swimming around the tank often out in the open. They more resemble kind of like a snake. They're going to be slowly gliding around the sand or from one rock to another. You might also see them use their tail of the fin to hold them in place from time to time. So they might just be kind of letting the breeze just take them from side to side. And always remember, when acclimating a fish that is so particular about their water, use the drip method and take your time. That's going to bring your water levels against the water they came in very slowly and very accurately for them. Temper is very peaceful. You will not see this fish being aggressive, not even towards its own kind. Reef compatibility is with caution, and the main things to look out for is one, inverts. So there are some crabs and shrimp out there that can see this guy as someone easy to pick on. You definitely don't want that, because a stressed out pipefish is not going to do well in the tank setting. The second thing in particular are corals you have in your tank. Anything with stinging tentacles or a mouth big enough to eat them, you'll want to stray away from having them in the tank with a pipefish. Even some larger brains have been known to mess with these guys, and it was just a bad ending for him. Pipefish are also really bad about swimming into the tentacles of a coral like torches, or even inverts like anemones. So make sure you don't have anything in there that could harm this guy as he's kind of floating around the tank. Temperature, you want to keep at 72 to 78, DKH 8 to 12, pH 8.1 to 8.4, and your salinity 1.020 to 1.025. Everything's pretty basic there. Of course, with those water levels, make sure you're keeping up with your ammonia, your nitrates, your nitrites, and that phosphate. Those levels coming up are really going to harm this guy, so make sure those stay intact. The max size you'll usually see a pipefish get is about 6 to 8 inches. There are a wide variety of colors you can get a pipefish in, but usually browns, oranges, whites, and yellows are what you would typically see. Diet is strictly a carnivore, but like I said, you want to make sure they're getting plenty of copepods while also trying to feed them some frozen food like mysis. That's also another really good meaty food to have in their diet. Origin is around the Indo-Pacific area, all up and down those islands around the reefs. They usually hang out around spots that have a lot of macroalgae, a lot of that seaweed looking environments where they can hang from branch to branch and be eating those copepods up. Compatibility, just ask in the comments if you have any specific questions, but you want to have a very peaceful fish with a pipefish. Things like firefish, gobies, dragonets, and even seahorses. This is one of the very few fish that easily go with seahorses because they're so docile. You can even keep a pair in the tank or even have a group of them together. So don't put them with any very fast swimming, aggressive eating fish. Even tangs and some aggressive clowns can sometimes harm these guys, so be very particular about who you put them with. You'll also want to keep an eye out because like mated clownfish pairs that lay eggs in the tank all the time, you'll likely see eggs, except this time they'll be on the male fish. So it's pretty cool if you see that happen. Always keep in mind with multiple pipefish in the tank, that's going to mean you need more copepods in the aquarium because they're going to be eating them up all during the day. So if you got one in there, he's eating a good bit, but you start putting 4 or 5 of them in there, they're going to eat your copepod supply down if they're not reproducing fast enough. So make sure you're putting plenty of food in there for them to eat. And that'll do it for the pipefish. This is a really unique one to have in your tank, but will require a very special tank to be built specifically for them. Seeing people have tanks that are filled with macroalgae and seahorses and pipefish swimming around searching for copepods is a sight to see. Thank you all for stopping by to watch this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below if you have more questions. Don't forget to check out the shop and grab a new shirt. And I hope everyone has a great week. See y'all later.